Madam Speaker, permission to speak from a seat that is not mine.
Permission granted.
Thank you. Madam Speaker, fellow members of Parliament, clerks and officers of the House of Representatives, good afternoon. I stand here today to represent with great pride and humility the people of a bountiful and picturesque nook of our beautiful island, Clarendon, Northwestern. Madam Speaker, over a year ago, while I was mislabeled as a deportee by some and told that I would be given a proper backsliding and sent back to where I came from, a well-known popular memory gem came to mind, in the words of Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. The heights by great men reached and kept were not attained by sudden flight, but they, while their companions slept, were toiling upward in the night. Madam Speaker, it seems these words came to pass, and as we worked, others slept. I was welcomed by these warm people with open arms, and they hoped for the change they yearned to see. So much so that on September 3rd of 2020, I was honored to have been handed this blessed seat. Not once on election night or twice at the official recount the day after, but 3 times following a tedious magisterial recount process in what I feel made, Madam Speaker, was a resounding yes and confirmation of their confidence in my ability and also of their confidence in the leadership of the Jamaica Labour Party under the vision of the Prime Minister, the Right Honourable Andrew Holness. Madam Speaker, I thank them for their dedication and drive to return the seat to the Jamaica Labour Party for what some have called a decade of despair. The people of Clarendon Northwestern were truly eager to see the actualization of the seat's true potential, and I feel most honoured to be entrusted with such a charge. Madam Speaker, I would like to thank all the workers, PD captains, outdoor agents, indoor agents, and runners who toiled diligently and respectfully to bring back the seat to the JLP, and to the 6,124 voters who went out and put their X beside the bell. I must also take this time to mention and express gratitude to my councillors, Clive Mundell, Councillor for the Frankfield Division and Deputy Mayor of the Parish of Clarendon, Councillor Colin Henry of the Thompsontown Division, Councillor Caretakers Lloyd Blackstock of the Riches Division and CJ Bandu of the Spalding Division. My management team, led by Hydron Mikulski, advisors and administrative support. Madam Speaker, while I can't name all the very special people that contributed to my success on September 3rd, 2020, it would be remiss of me not to mention and thank 4 people who stood beside me through thick and thin, rain and shine, and who walked every step with me on the journey to success on September 3rd. Conroy Brown, who is here with us today, upstairs, Philip Mitchell, a.k.a. Nigo, Tara Bryan, and Sheldon Sinclair, who was responsible, Madam Speaker, in getting me back into representational politics through his measured and deliberate approaches. In fact, Madam Speaker, the victory was not made final until nearly a month after, when the recount was completed. And so I must thank the 3 lawyers that carried me through the process of the magisterial recount and ensured we remained victorious. And of course, most importantly, my dear family, for their love and support during these tedious proceedings. I would also like to recognize the Right Honourable Andrew Holness, who gave me this opportunity to take on the Clarendon Northwestern seat. Madam Speaker, the people of Clarendon Northwestern have endured almost 10 years, 2 terms, of neglect. In fact, they have suffered for 3 of the last 4 terms under a representative who has clearly failed to do many things, but most importantly, failed to represent well and advocate for the needs of the people. Allow me to list a few of the core challenges that have been facing the people of Clarendon Northwestern to provide some context. lack of infrastructure, deplorable road conditions, declining structural conditions of some schools and buildings, health centres and other public spaces, lack of access to electricity. Madam Speaker, from no street lights in some communities to the daunting reality of areas that have never seen electricity. Communities like Cornhill and Woodside. Madam Speaker, Woodside, where the poles and wires were installed 10 years ago, until today, the people in the area have no electricity. Madam Speaker, I'm working on the solution, and I'm hoping for a successful resolution in the near future. Lack of access to water. The deterioration and in some cases the non-existence of piping has cursed many communities for over 10 years and in some cases more. Madam Speaker, our communities are in need of better internet and broadband services. Business development is a major problem that holds us back also. And climate change. And as my colleague, Minister Charles, pointed out earlier, is causing us some very serious problems. And as we grapple with the reality of our changing world, the constituency has been affected greatly by the effects of climate change and the lack of mitigation efforts. With unusually heavy rains, the clay-laden hillsides are prone to constant landslides. This leads to water-soaked land that causes slippages, breakaways and collapse of our roads and bridges. Madam Speaker, though met with many challenges upon my entry, I adjusted my lens and sought opportunities, as it is my core belief that with a desire to lead, a desire to effect change and a desire to represent, much can be accomplished. So far, in my appointment as Member of Parliament, I have thought long and hard about what is needed to move the seat forward. Madam Speaker, my contemplations have led to the idea of resiliency. Madam Speaker, resiliency is defined as the capacity to recover from difficulties or the ability of a substance or object to spring back into shape. To this Honourable House, I am pleased to say that my team and I have begun tackling the issues from the perspective of evoking the resilience of the constituency. And in the past year, we have made some significant strides. Roads, Madam Speaker. Witnessing what I believe to be some of the worst conditions in Jamaica, I have had to put on the forefront of my mind the stress and frustration of the people and the deplorable roads they must endure to traverse daily. These poor conditions have resulted in high costs for travel and turmoil with repairs to vehicles used for public and private transport. Madam Speaker, there are taximen who refuse to drive, and quite reasonably, on some of our roads and let elderly ladies and others at the bottom of roads to walk all the way up to the top, rain or shine, because the roads are so bad that their cars will be destroyed. This has to stop. This cannot go on. Madam Speaker, Madam Speaker, there are three main arterial roads that connect the four divisions of the constituency. The 9 Turns Road through Effort, then on to Smithfield to Thompson Town, then Thompson Town through Victoria up to Sunbury, Shop Hill, Belcaris to Spalding, and then Spalding to Whiteshop, to Grantham, on to Kilsyth, and then back to Frankfield. These main roads are without rest from constant potholes and breakaways. Madam Speaker, one of my constituents in the Smithfield, Sunbury and Cornhill community, a solid yam-producing area, said to me the other day that the road is so bad that the residents in the area had to get some stones to put in the road to create a level path so the donkey could get through with their produce. Right now, due to the poor road conditions, the exporters are no longer driving up into the community to buy from the farmers. As such, in order to maintain their presence in the market, our farmers have to travel at least a mile or more with their produce via donkeys and mules to meet the trucks at a location. Madam Speaker, this cannot continue. It is not feasible, and these farmers stand to lose much-needed business. Madam Speaker, even recently, in the past 2 weeks, there has been a huge breakaway that is threatening to cut off access to Dykes Hill in the Riches Division. As climatic conditions continue to change and the infrastructure is tested, we will see more cases such as this, and so a general sense of urgency is needed in Clarendon North Western to improve, rehabilitate, and to pay close attention to the maintenance of the drains. Madam Speaker, we have approximately 8 kilometres of road from Trouthall to Grantham, and there are at least 6 major breakaways. These have been deteriorating and getting worse over the past 10 years. These are not small breakaways, Madam Speaker. These are breakaways that take up half of the road or more. And in some cases, if you come around the corner, you don't realize the road is broken away, and you will have to find the river if 2 cars have to pass. So these are serious issues. Madam Speaker, with these present realities, I had to get the ball rolling, and as a result of true advocacy and representation, have sought funding to patch and repair the roads, namely the Bryant's Peace Road, Coffee Peace to Copperwood Road, and the Grantham and Morant roads. The Bryant's Peace Road work has already started, and the other 2 areas are to start very soon. The allocation to tackle these repairs and improvements are to the tune of $70 million and is accessible from resources made available through the National Works Agency. Madam Speaker, in addition, approval has been granted to fix the Trouthall to Frankfield Road, the 2 breakaways adjacent to the old coffee factory in Trouthall, the Southwood Community Bridge, and the 2 dangerous breakaways on the Kilsit to Grantham Road, and also breakaways in Cornhill and Smithville, Sunbury. In addition, the major breakaway and partial collapse along the Victoria to Thompson Road corridor back in October 2020 has now been through the procurement process, and repairs to this important section of road should begin in the very near future. Madam Speaker, the constituents are anxious and restive and look forward to seeing the swift response to this issue. All of these ongoing remarks and those on the horizon that I have just laid out total nearly $300 million, and for that I would like to thank the Minister without portfolio in the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation with responsibility for works, my colleague from South West St. Catherine, for his tremendous support, his in-person visit to assess these roads and consideration to aid in these areas will have a significant impact on the constituency. Madam Speaker, as we continue to tackle the bad conditions of the roads in the constituency, we try to forge partnerships, and so through cooperation between myself and my councillor, Henry of the Thompson Town Division, and my colleague from Clarendon North Central, Minister Morgan, we have begun a repair on the Springfield Road, which runs between North Central and North West. And so for that, we thank you, sir, and thank JSIF, who is the main partner in that. Additionally, the Andrew Hill Road in Frankfield that was impassable 6 months ago has now been repaired. Madam Speaker, as we continue the trend of partnerships, I must thank the Minister of Local Government, my colleague from Western Kingston, Minister Desmond McKenzie, and the Clarendon Municipal Corporation for their assistance in this project. Minister, I look forward to more partnerships and more roads. Madam Speaker, we have been allocated 2 farm roads, one in Bullocks and Morgan's Road, which work will begin shortly on. I would also like to thank the Minister of Agriculture and my colleague from St. Elizabeth, the former Minister of Agriculture, and my colleague from St. Elizabeth Southwestern for their efforts in assisting with these grants, and I look forward to many more with the help of the present Minister of Industry, Commerce and Agriculture and Fisheries, my colleague from Manchester North East. Madam Speaker, having laid out the state of our roads, we must look into the next major challenge we face in Clarendon North Western. The constituency is plagued with difficulties accessing water, and for the most part, the challenges are due to inadequate maintenance with existing piping infrastructure and the lack of piped water to the communities throughout the constituency. Madam Speaker, the headwaters of the Rio Minho start in the Riches Division, which is in northwest Clarendon, and my colleague, Minister Chuck, hails from. Right? Okay.
He doesn't visit anymore, though.
No. Used to be in the river. All right.
Madam Speaker, may I ask for the members' time to speak, to give him sufficient time to complete his presentation?
The question is that the member be allowed sufficient time to complete his presentation. Those in favor? Aye. Those against, the ayes have it.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The headwaters of the Rio Minho start in the Riches Division, and it runs through the entire constituency down into Frankfield. And there are also a few springs within the constituency conveniently located in each division. And yet, Madam Speaker, we have many communities in all divisions that have no piped water to supply their homes and farms. Madam Speaker, some 45% of these communities in the Frankfield division have no piped water to their homes. In addition to that, we have several communities across the constituency like Harwood, Ferron, Lodge Green, Nine Turns, Lodge District in Thompsontown that have pipes, but unfortunately, due to poor maintenance and repairs, they have had no water in some instances for many years. Madam Speaker, to further illustrate, there are 3 major water pumping operations in the constituency that should supply us with potable drinking water. Let us look at the pump station on the border of Clarendon, Northwestern and St. Anne, and the other located along the border of Clarendon, Northwestern and Northeast Manchester. Madam Speaker, in between those 2 pump houses lie the communities of Walders Run, Moravia, Silent Hill and Top Alston, and none of them have pipe water. What a shame. This is a sad situation, Madam Speaker, especially when pipelines were available and were to be installed from 2011. Madam Speaker, over the past year, we have been working with the National Water Commission and the Clarendon Municipal Corporation to expand the present systems and encompass more communities and implement maintenance efforts and repairs to restore supply to some of these areas. I am pleased to say on this feat, new pipes have been laid from the pumping plant on the Manchester side up to the Moravia Primary School and the Moravia Clinic. These pipes will be commissioned in the near future, and we will continue to push for the pipes to be laid all the way up to the Silent Hill and Top Alston areas. Madam Speaker, the task has just begun, as we still have many communities and by extension some schools, churches and health centres that we are working towards getting pipe water to in the near future. I would like to use this opportunity to thank the National Water Commission, despite their own internal challenges with resources and mobility, for their efforts in aiding us to activate these solutions, and we look forward to the continued partnership to evoke resilience in bringing back more water to our communities. Madam Speaker, Clarendon Northwestern was blessed to have a man of vision as the Member of Parliament for 3 terms. The late Edwin Allen served all 3 terms as Minister of Education, first in 1953 to 1955, and then 1962 to 1972. He was the first and longest-serving Minister of Education of independent Jamaica. Education is one of the most important pillars in the alleviation of poverty and one of the most important things needed to take advantage of the opportunities to create wealth and drive development. Madam Speaker, Edwin Allen understood the importance of education, so much so that to date, Clarendon Northwestern has 29 government schools within its borders, 6 high schools: Edwin Allen, formerly Frankfield Comprehensive, Claude McKay, Alphonsus Davis, formerly Spalding High, Alston High, Knox High, Thompsontown High, and 23 primary schools. With these numbers, we have the largest cohort of schools in any constituency, so much so that we have 2 quality education circles, 47A and 47B, and as a result, two education officers, Ms. Kamal Suban and Ms. Yvette Gillespie-Lewis. Madam Speaker, I must pause and take this opportunity to commend these diligent public servants who have included me in all aspects of the school's activities and advocate daily for the needs of these schools. Madam Speaker, our schools are in need of better infrastructure. They lack resources and struggle with poor broadband issues and other ailments. Having seen the needs in the constituency and my desire in maintaining the model of fortifying the educational prowess and advancements in Clarendon Northwestern, I intend to maintain and build on the legacy of the late Edwin Allen, which I am sure he will be proud of. Madam Speaker, I am pleased to announce that two new state-of-the-art early childhood institutions have been constructed in conjunction with the Chase Fund, one that is attached to the Kilsyth Primary School in the Frankfield Division and the other at the Victoria Primary School in the Thompsontown Division. Both schools are now 90% complete and are built to the Early Childhood Commission standards and will receive full certification once operational. Madam Speaker, this is what evoking resilience is all about. We are building back and building back even stronger. Madam Speaker, this is the first time in well over 10 years that such significant investments have been made in this constituency in the area of education. Another major achievement within the education system over this year is that the Alston High School received through my efforts a set of musical instruments to enhance and build our partnership of promoting music in schools and the improvement of the creative arts in education. Madam Speaker, it is important we keep the legacy of Edwin Allen alive, and as such, his namesake, Edwin Allen High School, has not been excluded from the trend of improvements across the constituency. As many know, this school sits at the throne of sporting excellence in Jamaica and the world at large. Edwin Allen High School has won the girls' champs in the last 7 years and has the privilege of winning the championship 8 times overall. Students like Tia and Tina Clayton, twin track sensations, stand as examples of products of the excellence present at this institution. And Madam Speaker, let me just pause to note that while Tia and Tina were born in Western Westmoreland, these young ladies are now fully Clarendon Northwest constituents. We have taken them over. They have been at Edwin Allen now since they have been 12 years old, and so it is their home. Madam Speaker, the boys too have been excellent in their performances, as they are now ranked in the top 10 at the Boys and Girls Championships over the last 3 years. We look forward to their continued success. Madam Speaker, the school has also recently been the beneficiary of the addition of 6 new classrooms, efforts made possible by the Ministry of Education and my colleague from St. Andrew Easton. Madam Speaker, it does not stop there. Through the Sports Development Foundation and the efforts of my colleague from St. Catherine Central and Minister of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sports, the Honourable Olivia Babsy-Grange, the Edwin Allen High School has been gifted with a new dormitory for the girls' track team to house 80 student athletes. I know Coach Dyke and the high school principals are extremely happy to receive such a gift. And I, too, must thank you for this grant and your continued commitment to the advancement of the youth in our country. The Honourable Edwin Allen would have been proud and well pleased. Madam Speaker, moving on to the Constituency Fund, things are finally happening in Clarendon Northwestern, and I must say we are not standing still. Since my tenure as Member of Parliament and through my office, there have also been other contributions to the advancement of education. My office has awarded 300 students with educational assistance in the form of tuition grants and book vouchers, a total investment in our youth of over $5 million. We have awarded an additional 55 students with tablets, laptops, and other learning devices. These students were in much need and will now be able to take full advantage of the new normal that is online school. And we have been blessed with reports of their passes and good results following this investment. Our office has also promoted and assisted over 180 constituents with signing up for the Own Your Own Device program and the Serve Jamaica eGov tablet initiative made available through the Ministry of Education. We must commend these two programs as they certainly have and will aid so many of our parents to access tablets. Madam Speaker, the grant of all these tablets and devices has highlighted the significant challenge of access to broadband and internet services within the constituency. So much big up and thanks to the Universal Fund, as our constituency is on its way to getting equipment to set up 3 public Wi-Fi locations in Frankfield, Spalding and the Victoria Square in Thompsontown Division. Madam Speaker, these installations will bring much needed internet to the hundreds of constituents and children who need this access to function daily at work or with school. Madam Speaker, I would also like to highlight that over the past year we have had 12 more of our schools receive internet connectivity, and would like to thank the Ministry of Education for this initiative and look forward to the continued success of the programme. Madam Speaker, as my office is in the business of evoking resilience in the constituency, the living conditions of my constituents also need much attention. Through the Constituency Development Fund, I have managed to assist in the area of housing, and since my inception in the seat, I have spent over $2 million from resources made available to assist constituents which need aid to help them live in the homes that they have. There may not be large awards, but they are definitely important and well needed. Madam Speaker, on top of that, we have selected 5 individuals to benefit from the new social housing programme, which falls under the office of the Prime Minister, the Right Honourable Andrew Holness, ranging from the single-parent households to larger nuclear families who are unfortunately unable to afford suitable living conditions. I believe I left out, and I'm sorry. Sorry? Most Honourable, my apologies, Prime Minister. In the area of welfare and emergency, we have helped over 70 constituents so far. Gone now. Much needed assistance and spent approximately $1.5 million. These funds have aided in the areas of medical emergency cases and also in assisting our most needy with funeral grants and other welfare support. Continuing on the topic of welfare, we have been able this year, during these very challenging times, to assist over 2,500 constituents with much needed food packages, and we continue to support our communities and those in great need with resources as we invest in our people and their well-being. Madam Speaker, still on the topic of welfare, I must also mention 3 cases in particular. These individuals are beneficiaries of life-enhancing surgeries that they would have otherwise not been able to afford. Madam Speaker, one constituent was able to do a spinal surgery, and the other 2 were able to undergo corrective surgery, eye surgery, to restore their eyesight. Madam Speaker, our greatest asset is our people, and we must take care, preserve, and support them. Madam Speaker, we also continue through our CDF to assist and support our farmers, and I'm happy to say that over the past year, I've been able to assist over 900 farmers with fertilizer, chickens, feed, seeds, and other much-needed agricultural supplies, which has provided a significant boost to them. Much of what I see are remnants of the once booming production that prospered in this region. Madam Speaker, Northwest Clarendon had large amounts of coffee, which has declined and is no longer a significant crop. We even had a coffee processing plant, and that is no longer in use. We had citrus production, oranges and the ugly fruit, again significant decline in production and export. We had ginger in the Moravia Silent Hill areas. This was destroyed and has not recovered from the rhizome rot or soft rot disease. Cane has declined in production and export to the point we only have one major sugarcane farmer who actually sends his cane to be processed at the sugarcane factory in Worthy Park. Madam Speaker, cocoa was the largest and most prosperous crop in Clarendon Northwestern. This has almost gone into extinction due to the frosty pod disease. Madam Speaker, the good news on this front is that the Ministry of Agriculture has a program that recently began to prune the trees and reap damaged pods for quarantine in order to control the disease. And we must commend the Ministry for this initiative and look forward to its continued success. Madam Speaker, despite the declines of the above and efforts to revive the glory crops of the past, we still have our yam, banana, dasheen and cocoa, and some farmers are still growing carrots, lettuce, cabbage and tomato and other vegetable crops. Despite the above, there have been no developments in new and emerging areas of agriculture over the past years, as the constituency is in much need of funding to drive this development. As such, I call today on our CDF and must take this opportunity, Madam Speaker, to ask that we look into the matter of allowing the CDF to afford rural constituencies more flexibility and, if possible, increasing the maximum allocation within the scope of economic enablement funds for the consideration of agribusiness ventures. Madam Speaker, I see the reality that with the right energy, the right vision, and the right leadership, the once booming citrus industry within the Union Jericho, Trout Hall, Orange Hill belt can be revived. The vast hillside of coffee farms from Smithville to Topquarter to Bryan's Peace and Coffee Peace can once again be a pillar of strength in the re-establishing of industries and commerce in the constituency. Madam Speaker, though we are suffering from these declines, we have begun looking into other opportunities for commerce and agriculture. We have been working with the Dairy Industry Board to reintroduce the production of cow's milk in the constituency as another viable area of growth and employment. Madam Speaker, the producers of cow's milk in Jamaica have markets for the product and are looking to the expansion of production facilities to meet the market demand. Madam Speaker, cow's milk production also opens up opportunities in growing crops to feed the animals and the sale and rearing of calves that will also create jobs and income within the constituency. Also, Madam Speaker, the introduction of goat's milk production is one of the more exciting new areas of growth that will have a positive impact in the constituency. In the short and medium term, these products will see immense growth. Madam Speaker, I have been working with the Dairy Association on a pilot program they are promoting to increase the production of goat's milk in Jamaica. This program will aim to create linkages between schools and production clusters to promote and increase the use of goat's milk and goat milk products. Madam Speaker, I have an initial agreement to do 2 or possibly 3 of the pilots within the constituency. Goat's milk is also in great demand and will allow for future growth possibilities. There is also goat breeding and the goat meat market to be further expanded within the constituency. Madam Speaker, another area with great potential for growth in Clarendon Northwestern is the bamboo industry. Madam Speaker, the former MP Michael Stern began the push to expand into this area and was instrumental in working with the Bamboo Association to further move the industry along and expose the people of the constituency to the potential of this business. Following that point, a project was started at Peckham. This was a joint venture funded by the OAS and included local organizations, namely the PIOJ, Clarendon Municipal Corporation, NHT, Heart Trust, and other agencies. Over the past year, I have been actively participating with the steering committee to move the project to completion. Madam Speaker, I am pleased to say I have committed CDF funds to the project to create a new momentum and energy to the Peckham Bamboo project so that it can be completed in the very near future and handed over to the community members. Madam Speaker, as mentioned earlier, there is great promise in bamboo and as an industry. And I have been in discussions with a foreign company that is seriously interested in setting up operations in Jamaica to process the bamboo into many different products that can be sold in Jamaica and exported. Products like biocharcoal, which can be sold locally and abroad. Madam Speaker, in fact, there is a demand for £12 million each year in Canada alone. And we can also produce the fertilizer, toilet paper, hand towels, biodegradable packaging for food, along with many other products. This is an innovative and eco-friendly industry, and so we can be assured that there will be no environmental hazards or pollutants left behind, and to contaminate our rivers and the air. Madam Speaker, I do not want to say any more about this venture at this time, as we are in the discussion and negotiation phase of the project. I am, however, hopeful that these negotiations will be successful and have a significant economic impact in Clarendon, North Western, and by extension the surrounding constituencies and indeed Jamaica. In closing, Madam Speaker, the theme here has been about resiliency. And piece by piece I have combed through each layer of the constituency, identifying opportunities and looking for ways to help it spring back into shape, to evoke its resiliency. The people of Clarendon North Western are hard workers, genuine and industrious people. They want to see a constituency and a Jamaica that is prosperous and that keeps prospering. I take my role in this mission very seriously and will continue to do as much as I can to see that we build better and build back even stronger. Thank you. God bless.